Are you suffering with a bout of dad guilt? Well, then you better get it out of your system or I'll come and beat it. No, that's not the way to do this video. It's not the way to encourage and instruct dad. Sorry. Dad guilt is an incredibly strong feeling. Let's talk about it. Hey guys, I'm Trent and welcome back to another episode of Fatherhood Confessions. On today's episode, I want to talk to you dads. I want to talk about this common feeling of dad guilt. You know what I'm talking about. Every dad on the planet that walks and breathes struggles with dad guilt. Before we jump into today's video, why don't you go ahead, do me a favor, like, subscribe, and ring that bell so you're notified when I come out with a brand new video or when I go live. Let me preface this video by saying this. Dad guilt is a real thing. It's a common thing. Dad guilt is a common feeling where dads feel like they cannot provide for their family, emotionally, physically, in different ways, and also bear the burden of financially supporting their family. Ever since we were boys, before we even became men, we were taught by our fathers that it is very important for men to be responsible and be the financial backbone of the family. We were told to be the financial provider. And so because of that, a lot of us couldn't really follow our passions simply because on the money side of things, it wasn't really providing enough money for our families. The pressure was, and now I still believe to a certain degree, still remains on dads to financially care for the family. Every bit of that pressure seems to fall in our lap. Once a little one comes, and then another one comes, and if you're very bold to have more than 2 kids, which I have, a third and fourth, it seems like the financial responsibility and obligation just ramps up a notch. Just ramps up a notch. And it becomes so overwhelming where we fall into this place where we're depressed and we just mount it with all kinds of pressure and we feel guilty that we cannot come through for our family. If we aren't rising up in our families and getting pay raises and promotions and all kinds of various things within our professional career, we feel like we're letting our closest family and friends down. And that can lead to so much unnecessary guilt. So, why do men, dads, parents, in general, feel so much guilt? Number 1, not making a lot of money is very difficult, but losing time is even harder. Maybe there's some of us out there who are stay-at-home dads for a while. We missed out on some specific jobs. We missed out on opportunities to make money because we decided to stay home with our kids for a couple years and bond and become very close relationally. Sometimes we're feeling guilty because we didn't make that money to support our family even more. But when we look at the trade-off, spending time with our kids, who would ever trade anything for that? So if you're feeling guilty over that, you can let that one drop like a wet sock. Don't ever believe that trading, making more money, and less time with your kids is good. No, it's not. Be proud that you made that decision. And listen, don't get caught up in shoulda, coulda, woulda. You did it for a reason. Your priorities are right. You made a good decision.
You made a good decision.
You made a good decision. You made a good decision.
The second reason why I believe we feel a lot of guilt is this. We never feel like we're doing enough. I am constantly in awe of the relationship that my kids have with their mother. I have a strong relationship with my kids, but there's something about the motherly instinct. You can see it. The connection that kids have with their mothers is just unparalleled. We have no match for that maternal mom instinct that women have that has that strong bond with their children. From feeding them as babies and nurturing them at home and that instinctual parenting ability that mothers have. Sometimes we as dads, we slide into the pool of guilt and drown because we're trying to measure up to mom or to our wives. But guess what? We can never match that. We have to be ourselves and be okay with that. And when we do, the dad guilt will cease. Yes, I know. I've been there where my kids, when they were sad or in trouble or they were just a mess, they would call out who? They would call out Dad seemed to come in at a hard second. But you know what? There are other things that are kids, if you pay close attention, they will call on Dad. They will call on you for their need to be fulfilled. Just wait, be patient, and the whole time encourage each other in your marriage. Encourage your kids to continually be pursuant of their mother. That's important. And thirdly, a lot of our guilt, our dad guilt, comes from not wanting to be an old dad. Here's what I mean. Biologically, our bodies don't have the same timeline as women. As women get older, it's quite frankly harder for them to have children or to bring children into the world. And I'm not going to get into the reasons why, but it's just the truth. As you get older, it's more of a risk. For having children late, a lot of the times we have this tendency to feel guilty about being an old dad. Our backs are starting to hurt, our muscles are aching. It just becomes that much more harder mentally and physically. And so we tend to shy away from wanting to have kids as we get up there in age. It is a reality that men are having children later in life. And you know what? I want to say to you, as one who's choosing to have children later in life, it's okay. Being an older dad is not the end of the world. You know what? Those years leading up to having children at a much mature age, it's going to give you that much more wisdom to plant into your children as you live and grow with them. I know we don't have the same amount of energy or strength as we get older, but you know what? We're going to turn old dad into cool dad, because that's reality. You have purpose, and just because you're older, having children means you just have so much more to give, especially experiences. Sometimes we feel guilty because if we have kids later in life, that means we won't be around long into the future to see our kids grow up, and that sometimes has a tendency to weigh on us. This could even fall under the whole grandparent thing as well, in that the longer we wait to have children, we feel guilty that our parents are not going to be grandparents younger, and so they don't have as much time with the children, our children, when we decide to have them, as we would want. And that's an understandable situation. Well guys, that's a wrap. I just want to do a short video, but to wrap it up here, I just want to say, don't feel guilty. Enjoy the journey. And guess what? You're important. No matter what stage of life you're a dad and what you're doing, you're earning money, spending time as much as you can. Listen, relax. Your children will grow up and they will begin to understand your journey, and it'll be all worth the while. Thanks for tuning in. Appreciate it very much. Again, don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring that bell, and we will catch you on the next one. See ya.